What new decisions are you going to make about life this year? What new decisions are you going to make about your body this year? Have you decided that you're enough exactly where you are and exactly as you are? That doesn't mean that you're going to stay there. We are always called upon to expand. We always want to expand. That's what we're here for, is expansion. Hello there, prosperity seeker, and welcome to another episode of the Prosperity Approach. I'm your host, Allyson Chavez. Happy New Year. It's 2023 as of this recording, and wow, I'm really excited to talk to you today about the most important decision that you can make starting this new year. But before we dive into that, remember, I am doing live in-person events throughout 2023. If you want some more information and to register for those, where we're going to spend 2 very powerful days learning about what it actually is like to live in the feminine and tap into the masculine, rather than living in the masculine and tapping into the feminine, and how you can transform your life that way. You can go to prosperityapproach.com/live to get some more information and to register for that. So it's the new year, right? Everybody's so excited. I love the new year. By the time whatever year I'm in comes to a close, I'm like, I'm ready. I'm ready to be done. I'm ready to move on. I'm a totally different person by the end of, the current year, ready to be that, higher version of me in the next year. And I remember doing this over and over and over again. That's why New Year's resolutions are, such a tradition for everybody. But there's a reason why they don't work for most people. And for years, they didn't really work for me either. I remember when I would do New Year's resolutions, I was like, things are going to be different this year. Things are going to be different. And yet, I said that with full belief and full optimism and a little bit of naivete, I'll admit to that. But I was filled with so much hope because everything was new and the slate was wiped clean and all of those things. But what I didn't understand that I was missing is that I could claim that things were going to be different, but I didn't realize how powerful I was and that I was the crux of whether things would be different or not. I didn't know how to be different. I didn't know how to think different. I could do different. And so I could be really disciplined. I could do a new diet. I could do a new exercise program. I could do a new budgeting system or whatever, but I didn't know how to be different. And so more often than not, I would end the year with some wins for sure. Like there were some goals that I would hit, but a lot of times the big goals I wouldn't even get close to. Case in point, and this isn't really a big goal necessarily, but I remember back in the day, I love icicle lights on houses. And I love like the red, white, and green bulbs, like lights on the houses, and then those icicle lights, because it just looks like a gingerbread house to me. And I love it. And we were, this is when we were first married. And we didn't have money for extras, but every Christmas I was like, next year we're going to have icicle lights and lights all over our house. Things are going to be different next year. And I think I did that for 7 years. We never had lights on our house. One year we finally got some lights on our house, but not the icicle lights. I think the icicle lights took another 3 years to get. Because even though I declared that things would be different and we'd have the money to splurge on things like Christmas lights and Christmas decorations, I was still thinking in scarcity. I was still being somebody who lived in lack, even surrounded by abundance. And so the most important decision that you can make and the most important thing that you can do moving into a new year and moving into a new phase of your life or a new chapter of your life is to make different decisions. And it's not decisions to do something. And that's a really important distinction. It's not decisions to do something. It's decisions about something. If you will just start making different decisions about how life shows up for you, make different decisions about how you show up for life, how you show up in relationships, make different decisions about what challenges mean about you, about life. That has the power to get you to your next level of you, who lives her next level dreams with a lot of speed. Now, it takes practice. Of course, Einstein said the most important decision you'll ever make is whether you live in a friendly universe or a hostile one. And I think for many of us over the last several years, it's felt like a hostile universe. There has certainly been topsy-turvy times economically, in our health, in our relationships, even in our level of spirituality and our connection with God. But you can make different decisions about adversity, about the world we live in, about the universe. And if maybe you really haven't decided that you live in a hostile universe, but maybe you've decided unconsciously that you live in a universe that's indifferent to you and to your dreams. That will also put roadblocks in your path. Because if you live in a universe that's indifferent to your dreams, and that's what you've decided, then you don't really trust universal laws. Then you have a harder time connecting to God and really seeing Him in all of the finite, small, mundane details of your life. Because, well, if the universe is indifferent, then God's probably indifferent as well. And my dreams aren't that important. And, there's so much hurt and suffering and poverty in the world. Who am I to say I want a pair of X shoes, or I want to go on this vacation with my family, or I want to have this financial goal, or live in this neighborhood or home, or like whatever it is. When we decide that we live in an indifferent universe, we act accordingly. If we decide that we live in a universe that's friendly to our needs and to our desires, if we decide that we live in a universe that conspires to help us, that doesn't conspire against us, if we decide that God is all-knowing and all-loving of you exactly right where you are, and that God is in the details. The devil is not in the details, but God is in the details. And God will continue to guide you and to course correct you and to talk to you. And all you need to do is decide that you can trust Him, that you can trust the process, and that it's okay to make mistakes along the way. And God's not going to condemn you for that, but He is going to correct you in that, in ways that are very loving, in ways that serve you. Then you'll also act accordingly. So what new decisions are you going to make about life this year? What new decisions are you going to make about your body this year? Have you decided that you're enough exactly where you are and exactly as you are? That doesn't mean that you're going to stay there. We are always called upon to expand. We always want to expand. That's what we're here for, is expansion. But if you can love yourself and decide that you are enough exactly as you are, then you'll act accordingly. If you will decide that people are here to help you and people love to help you, and that it's safe for you to receive, and it's safe for you to be vulnerable, and it's safe for you to live in the feminine and just tap into the masculine. If you're a woman, if you're a man listening to the podcast, it's safe for you to live in the masculine and tap into the feminine. If you can decide that that's how life works for you, if you can decide that it's easy to make large amounts of money, if you'll decide that you have powerful, deep, meaningful relationships with those people that are most important to you, that it's easy for you to hold boundaries in love and respect, but in clarity, if you can decide that you live unapologetically you, whether you is bold and flamboyant, or whether that authentic version of you is more introspective and observant, and that's okay. And when you decide that you're safe to shine your unique light in your unique way, and that you contribute to the light and the benefit and the healing of the world, your life will change. So I want you to take out a piece of paper, and I want you to make 3 new decisions about things for 2023. And I want you to pop into the chat as well. If you're watching on YouTube, put it in the comments below. What are 3 new decisions that you are going to make in your life? And if you are really, really determined to live in feminine and tap into masculine and to lean there and to trust in that process, and you are a 6-figure woman who writes her own checks, who is going places, but you're pretty tired of approaching everything in the masculine and feeling like you're a smaller, less hairy man, even though you're not, my 2-day event just might be a really, really good fit for you. It's a very small, intimate event that I'm doing in downtown Salt Lake City in the Grand America Hotel, January 18th and 19th. So in just a couple of weeks. If you are Wanting some information, you can go to prosperityapproach.com/live. Get the 411 on that. You can get your ticket. If you can't make it, I'll be doing these events regularly throughout the year. So don't let that stop you from purchasing a ticket. You can just let us know if you can't make it live during those dates, and you're welcome to attend an event at a later date in 2023. So if you have any questions about that, you can also contact client care at AllysonChavez.com. And Happy New Year. Happy New You. Who are you going to be in 2023? You get to decide that. And you get to decide how life, how money, how love, and how God shows up for you. You're that powerful. Until next time, remember, prosperity becomes you. Bye-bye.